Thanks for staying tuned. Well, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Douye Diri has formally defected to the All Progressives Congress (APC), ending weeks of speculation about his political realignment. According to Governor Diri, he took the decision based on the love President Bola Tinubu has shown to the Jaw people and Bayelsa State, in particular by taking over the second phase of the Nembe Bras Road. Well, in this report, correspondent Chinono Temple brings us detail as to the event yesterday and how it all panned out.
Dressed in their colorful attires, thousands of supporters defied the early hours downpour to participate in the historic event at the Samson Siasa Sports Stadium. Security operatives struggled to restrict further entry as the facility was filled to the brim amid fears of stampede.
Yes.
Governor Douye Diri, who resigned from the People's Democratic Party 2 weeks ago, formally announced his defection, citing his love for President Tinubu's style of leadership, which has improved both infrastructure and revenue allocation of various states.
In the military regime, we requested for a coastal road from Lagos to Calabar. Today, we have a president. We have a president that is not attending to the demand of the job people.
Vice President Kassim Shettima led top APC figures, including the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, governors, senators, and other party stalwarts.
For those who are jealous that today the progressive-minded governor of this great state of Bayelsa, Governor Diri, is taking this decision, can all of us together mourn them by shouting
We welcome Your Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Douye Diri.
Yes. We are here in our number to show solidarity to the Governor of Bayelsa State, a progressive man who took a progressive decision at a progressive time.
The Bayelsa State House of Assembly that have the strength of 24. 21 of us are doing the line in Delta. Your Excellency, that is very comfortable number. We can do anything with that number.
The former defection of Governor Douye Diri sealed his much anticipated switch before mammoth crowd who flooded the Samson Siasa Sports Stadium. From the sports complex in Yenagoa, at Chinono Temple.
Well, it's been described as one of the most consequential political decisions in recent Niger Delta history. Governor Douye Diri says his defection to the APC is about Bayelsa first, citing the president's commitment to Ijaw development, especially with the takeover of the Nembe Bras Road. But political observers are asking, is this about access to the center or a genuine path to faster development? Let's break it down and what this move really means for governance, unity, and political strategy in Bayelsa, especially beaming light on the activities of Diri and his governance style in Bayelsa State. We're being joined by the Chief Press Secretary to the Bayelsa State Governor, Mr. Daniel Alabrah, joins us virtually. You're welcome on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon for having me on your program.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Alabrah.
Thank you.
Well, after the governor announced his decision to resign the PDP, a lot of people and speculations flew, and it was about why the governor did not announce the party he was going to immediately. What was the suspense about?
Well, it was deliberate because there was nothing wrong with him not announcing it. And of course, he says that the first thing to do was to resign. and before now announcing his next line of action. It was his own way of just doing it. It was deliberate. It wasn't as if there was anything hideous about it, no.
Well, some people are saying there are constitutional clauses that prevents the governor from, at no time should the governor be lacking in a political party that he belongs to.
Okay. Well, people have said that at no time should the governor be partyless. But that is not founded in any constitutional provision. There is no, the governor did not infringe on any aspect of our constitution, because the provision that we have in the constitution has to do with election. We don't have independent candidature yet in our electoral system. So the governor was not contesting an election. He was not contesting on an independent platform. He had a platform and he resigned from that platform. So the constitution did not expressly say that a governor cannot resign, without telling his people where he's going next. There's no provision in our constitution like that.
All right, Mr. Daniel. Now, the governor, when he moved to the APC yesterday, said he is doing this in the interest of the Ijaw people. Well, there are many who actually believe that the governor is doing this to clinch the tickets, governorship tickets in the coming elections, or clinch victory, in the coming election. What's your take on this opinion?
Well, you have to understand that the governor is in his second term. So he's not contesting any election again. At least not governorship anymore. So some persons who felt that, the governor should have stayed in his party because he was not contesting any election again, they forget the fact that there are thousands and millions of people who follow him, who believe in him, who support him. Then there are thousands of politicians whose political future is tied to the governor. If the governor says that he will remain in his party, that even today we all know the kind of crisis, intractable crisis that the PDP has been immersed in. And there doesn't seem to be any solution, no headway, even until yesterday. So I do not know why anybody who thinks about who is a politician and is thinking about the next level for him will remain in a party that does not offer any hope. PDP doesn't offer any hope. So the most practicable thing for anybody to do is to live where you are and go to a place where you think you can realize your political objective. So what he did was a pragmatic step, a pragmatic decision that even goes beyond his own personal interest. Because some people think that it's only just personal. And I'm going to give you specific examples. For instance, you have members of the State House of Assembly who are going to contest elections. You have House of Reps, National Assembly members who are going to contest elections. And all of these people see the governor, the way the Nigerian political system is, legislators and other politicians at other levels in government, they look up to the governor or the president. So these are people who look up to the governor, they rely on the governor to determine what their future will be. If the governor doesn't take a step that will protect all of these political interests, these individuals, then he will more or less be subjecting all of them to political harakiri, which is political suicide now. So what he did is not because of himself. He is not contesting any governorship election again. But he has looked at those whose political future is tied to him. He decided to take that step. That is on one hand. On the other hand, he has looked at how Bayelsa can benefit better from what it is already benefiting in terms of access to the government at the center. Bayelsa has been ruled by the PDP since 1999. But in 2015, PDP and Bayelsa have been in opposition. And we know some of the things we have lost being in opposition. Now, I'm going to give you a typical example. see, today, I think you mentioned the Niger Road in your intro. Now, that road, if you do not know the history of that road, you will just think that, oh, it's just a development that should just happen. That is a road that has been on the drawing board for more than 6 decades. That's more than 60 years. Even in the federal budget, you have had that road, the road to Brass, that it had never been actualized until this governor came in. Just 3 years ago, this project started. And it is a federal project, but the state decided to undertake it. 21 kilometers of the first phase, 10 bridges. That project is over 100 billion. Let me just say about 115 billion after the variation. So the state government decided to embark on that project. But before we decided to embark on that project, we approached the federal government to remind them that, look, this project has been pending. That is the previous federal government now. But the state government was ignored. They didn't tell us anything. But it didn't take this current president 2 years. In fact, the first time the governor brought it up with him, he told the governor that this project would be done. And, when we started the first phase, just that first phase is almost like 80% gone now. The federal government awarded the contract for the second phase of another 21.5 kilometers. I want you to imagine what will happen if the governor was in the party that is ruling at the center. And I'll give you another example. Now, you see, all these regional commissions we have, for instance, the South Development Commission, Bayelsa has two appointees, two of the presidents in that commission. But there was an imbalance in the appointment. The two appointees are from one local government. So, if the governor had been approached, if he was in the ruling party, his opinion would have been sought in the first place, and it would have created a balance. I'm not saying that it is wrong, the appointment is wrong, but for us as a state, it would have been better for us to have these appointees from other areas too. So these are some of the things you can benefit when you sit at the table when decisions are made.
All right.
You understand? So,
all right, Mr. Daniel Alabrah.
Yeah.
The governor was also specific, saying that this movement is also going to benefit the Ijaws. So how is this movement going to benefit the Ijaws?
Let me tell you how it's going to benefit the Ijaws. Look, you see, the coastal road, yesterday, the governor read from a document that was written when he was the National Organizing Secretary of the Ijaw National Congress. This should be during the time of the military, during the time of General Abdul Salam Abubakar. The INC presented a proposal, a document of demand to the federal government on what the Ijaw people, as part of the request of the Ijaw people. And the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway was one of such requests. Because, we all know from our geography in Nigeria that the Ijaw people are found mostly along the coastal lines, the coastal areas of Nigeria, particularly in the south. So, the Lagos-Calabar Highway, coastal road, will benefit our communities from Ondo to Akwa Ibom. Because we have the Ijaws from Ondo to Akwa Ibom, 6 states. So, and this road will traverse some of our communities. It will open up these communities, it will grant access, economic activities will improve in these communities. So, the Ijaw community already, the Ijaw nation already saw this larger picture from a long time, even during the time of the military. So, the government in particular is happy that that road is being done by this president, and the Ijaw nation is also happy about that road. So he is only conveying the feelings of the Ijaw people to the president, that we are happy that you have shown, greater love to the Ijaw nation. So that is one example of how, this move favors the Ijaw people.
All right, so CPS, when we talk about, when we look at the context of the conversations that have been held regarding movements of this nature, as we've seen within the Niger Delta region, there's always that blame that is as a result of an internal crisis in the party that they're leaving behind. In this situation, the PDP. But the PDP is saying that there's no internal crisis, and this is just an issue of betrayal. How do you respond to that?
Well, anybody who says there's no crisis in the PDP is just acting like the ostrich. You just bury your head in the sand and you assume that nothing is wrong. All of us know. Anybody who follows politics in Nigeria knows that the crisis in the PDP is intractable. There is crisis. Nobody should try and lie about that one. So, I mean, as we speak today, there are two factions of the PDP. Yesterday, one of the factions bulldozed its way into the national headquarters of the party. This is a fact. So, you want the governor to remain in a place where, and he tried his best. Don't forget that he was chairman of the zonal committee of the convention of the party. You understand? And there were things he did to try and see how this crisis could be resolved. That didn't work out. Well, in the words of the governor, it is because some persons that have become like, he called them, or the word he used for them, undertakers, who want to see that PDP is completely decimated, despite the best efforts of people, of other members of the party to resolve this problem. So there's nothing personal. There's nothing that anybody will say unless that person wants to live a lie. The PDP is in a crisis, and every one of us will see that the crisis is real.
All right. Well, let's look at how this move is going to influence the ability of Governor Diri towards consolidating the gains of his governance in Bayelsa State. So far, how has the governor performed? And do you think this move is going to help consolidate his activities in terms of achievements for the Bayelsa people?
I believe it will help us as a state. It's not because of the governor. It will help us as a state. I've already outlined some of them for you. But if it's in terms of performance, well, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you that the governor has done well. But you need to talk to your correspondent, at least as your representative here. Let him tell you what the governor has done. But if you care to know, I will tell you some of them. You understand? For instance, today, Bayelsa will soon emerge as the only state in Nigeria that will practically have 24 hours electricity by virtue of what the governor has done. Today, a 60 megawatt gas turbine is being installed in Bayelsa to provide 24-hour electricity. Of course, the state government has taken advantage of the liberalization of the power sector by the president, and we have been able to establish our own independent power plant. By December, this facility will roll out, and the whole Nigeria will see it. That's just on one hand. Today, as we speak, when you come to Bayelsa, this governor is building a new city called the new Yenagoa city. All I'm saying, you can come here, you can even send people to come and verify. Let them come and see for themselves. Come to Bayelsa today. This same government is doing a road to the 3 senatorial districts. One is already completed in the West Senatorial District. The one that I spoke about, the Niger Delta Road, is in the East Senatorial District. Then we also have the road in the Central Senatorial District that goes all the way to Southern Niger, from Yenagoa to Southern Niger. This same government is building the longest bridge in Bayelsa, 630 meters today, across River Nile. This government has built several bridges and has connected several communities to the state capital by road. So, in terms of infrastructure, you give it to this government. And every one of us knows today the performance of Bayelsa in sports. It is not just happenstance. It is because of what this government has been able to put on ground. Now, today we know the performance of Bayelsa at the national level. Before this governor came, the best position we had was fourth, and that was in 2006 National Sports Festival. Then since 2020, since the 2021 National Sports Festival, Bayelsa has not gone beyond third. We came third in that festival. The last two editions, we came second. The Niger Delta Sports Festival, Bayelsa came first. It was the maiden edition, so that's the first one, we won it. And we won this competition in Niger Delta ahead of a state like Delta that always comes first at the National Sports Festival. So today, Bayelsa has become a name to be reckoned with when it comes to sports. Our team, the two state-sponsored teams, the Bayelsa Queens and Bayelsa United, won the FA Cup for the first time in this country. Two teams from the state winning it in 2021. And in 2022, our girls went to represent Nigeria at the CAF Champions League. They repeated that feat again this year when they won the league and went again to represent Nigeria. So in terms of sport, but to cut all of this in sports, today, this government is trying to build a 25 expandable to 30,000 capacity stadium in Yenagoa. It's a FIFA standard stadium. I mean, something like the next of champions we have in Rio. This governor is the one building it. This same governor is also providing very suitable accommodation for civil servants. Bayelsa is the predominantly civil service state, but is building today a 9-story civil service secretariat. That all these projects are on, and they will be completed by 2027 before he leaves office in 2028.
Mr. Daniel Alabrah, if you can hear me, I understand that the deputy governor has now moved to the All Progressive Congress, and the former governor also, Siraka Dixon, said he stands gidigba in the PDP alongside other members of the House of Representatives. So what I want to understand, is the governor willing to work alongside with the deputy even when he remains in the People's Democratic Party? And how is this going to affect the political landscape going forward?
He addressed that issue yesterday. He said yesterday that, look, he has taken a decision. And that decision is for those, he wants those who believe in it to follow him. It's not for everybody. So those who don't follow him to APC, they will still be part of the government. Okay. And I mean, it's not something, it will not affect anything. And mind you, this is perhaps the only governor in Nigeria that has appointed opposition members into his cabinet. Before now, he had APC members appointed as commissioners in the state cabinet, in the state executive council. So what does that tell you? He's somebody who is very broad-based in the way he plays his politics. He believes in the politics of unifying our people rather than using political parties to divide them. So there is really no cause for alarm. In fact, the fact that the deputy governor did not move with him does not, will not, and will never affect governance in Bayelsa. I'll give you an example. You talked about the former governor, and I'm going to give that. I guess you transmit from you. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The former governor of Akwa Ibom did not move to APC with the current governor. Has it affected governance in the state? It has not.
And also, a lot of it would also depend on how it is managed.
But he has managed it so far. I've told you, I've given you, example of what he did before now. He appointed opposition members. Do you know that for the first time in the history of Bayelsa State, we had election in 2023 where opposition members didn't support their candidate, but they supported this government. What does it tell you? It just tells you the kind of his own governance style. He's somebody who unifies rather than creating division.
Well, CPS, we heard the Senate President also comment on this defection yesterday, and he describes it as a win for the South-South. Do you think this is what it is, especially when you look at the dynamics of regional cooperation in the Niger Delta region? How would that affect how the South-South is perceived as we move on towards 2027?
I agree with the Senate President 100% and one. Because look at it. the PDP used to be the dominant party in the South. In fact, there was a time all of the states until Governor Shomel Keti, when Edo left. But all the other 5 states have always been PDP states until Cross River Ayade also left. But look at it gradually. We have seen the PDP decline in the South. Today, we have only maybe a hybrid state of Rivers, whether it's in PDP or APC, we do not know. But I know with time that picture will be clearer. But today, 5 out of the 6 states in the Niger Delta or in the South are all in one political party. So, I mean, it's going to create cohesion. It's going to create a lot of networking that will help the region. Before now, maybe only the Senate President and maybe 1 or 2 others have been carrying this body of speaking up for the region. But now we have more people speaking up for the region. So at the end of the day, it will conduce to better development for our region. So I agree it's a win-win situation for us.
All right. Well, as we begin to wind down the conversation now, CPS, what should Bayelsans expect this new dispensation? Is it going to spell more benefits, more dividends for the Bayelsa people? And as we head into 2027, what do you hope to see in terms of governance in Bayelsa State?
Well, Bayelsans shouldn't expect anything less than what they've been having. Nothing will change. The tempo of development will not reduce. In fact, because the governor wants to finish strong, he's doing everything. He's working like a governor who is in his first term. In fact, working better than most governors in their first term. So what the people are even saying now is, how can a governor who is leaving office be doing all of this? It is because he wants to leave a mark, and he's not going to relent. Bayelsans should expect, even a heightened tempo. Rather than the tempo coming down, the tempo will be maintained and raised.
And a strength of support. The strength of support of the Bayelsa governor. With this move, how vast is the support base for the governor? Talking about the citizens of Bayelsa State now.
Well, the fact is, it is not everybody that has accepted this change, which is normal with humans. But I can tell you that a larger percentage, a greater percentage of Bayelsans are in sync with this move, and they are in support. And if you follow the news, whether on social media or in the mainstream media, you will see that you will have seen that a lot of our people are with the governor on this. So, I mean, until the next election, some of these things we say, people will know that the governor really has the people behind him. So, this Bayelsa is now being governed by the APC as a party. And I believe that by the next election, it will show. The party chairman, the APC chairman in Bayelsa said that since 2015, they've been trying to take over APC. Sorry, they've been trying to take over Bayelsa, but they've always failed. But now, divine providence has made this possible. So they are very happy that the governor has come over to the party. I know what that means. It means a lot in terms of politics.
All right, thank you very much, Chief Press Secretary to the Bayelsa State Governor, Mr. Daniel Alabrah, for speaking to us in Niger Delta today. And the coming weeks, the coming months, the coming years, we're hoping that the tempo of development in Bayelsa State will not stall. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, Daniel.
I appreciate the time with you.
Okay.
All right, so that brings us to the end of Niger Delta today. Thank you very much for watching. Another fresh edition of the program will come your way tomorrow. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific afternoon.
And I am Siphon Ode. Good afternoon.